I booked a remote cabin in upstate New York for a solo weekend in November. No friends, no signal, no distractions. Just 3 days off-grid to clear my head after a breakup and a hellish work month. The listing looked perfect. Cozy wooden interior, wood stove, simple bed and kitchenette. The host had solid reviews too, a guy named Darren. Quiet, responsive, respectful, seemed fine. When I got there, everything looked like the pictures, only quieter. The cabin was in the woods, maybe 100 yards from the nearest gravel road. No other houses in sight. It felt peaceful, secluded, too secluded maybe. The inside was spotless. No Wi-Fi, just like the listing said. One thing that stuck out though, the living room TV was on when I arrived, just black screen and soft static. I figured the cleaners left it on and turned it off, but I swear about 15 minutes later, I heard it click on again while I was unpacking. Same static, no input, just that soft, grainy hiss filling the room. Okay, weird. I turned it off again. That night I lit a fire, read a bit, and went to bed early. The whole place creaked like old bones. But I expected that. It's a wooden box in the middle of nowhere. But around 3 a.m., I woke up freezing cold, even though the fire was still going. And the TV was on again, still static, this time louder, almost aggressive. I turned it off and just stood there in the dark, listening to the wind push against the windows. My phone had no service. I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. That's when I saw the red light, tiny, faint, blinking once every second. It was tucked up in the corner of the room, just beneath a wooden beam. A camera. I climbed on the couch and got a closer look. It wasn't decorative. It was active, warm to the touch. I followed the wire. It snaked into the ceiling and disappeared behind the paneling. I was pissed. I booked a stay with no cameras listed. I grabbed my coat and stepped outside with my phone, walking far enough until I got a bar of signal. I messaged Darren, the host, and asked him about the camera, trying to stay calm. He responded almost immediately. "It's for security. I should have disclosed it. Sorry, I'll refund one night." I told him I wanted it unplugged. I wasn't comfortable. There was a long pause, then, "It's not connected to the house. It's powered separately. Don't worry, it doesn't record anymore. I just like to check in sometimes, make sure everything's, okay." I didn't respond. I couldn't. Something about the way he said it. I went back inside, packed my bag, and was about to leave right then and there, until I noticed something new. The TV was back on, again, but now it wasn't static. It was showing the inside of the bathroom. Live feed. From a different angle than the camera I found. I had never seen that camera. I didn't even know it was there. I watched the screen in stunned silence for maybe 10 seconds. The door was cracked. You could see the edge of the sink, a toothbrush. Then in the corner of the frame, a shape shifted. Something moved, but it wasn't me. I was standing in the living room. There was someone already in the cabin. I ran out into the woods and didn't stop running until I hit the road. By the time the cops got there, the cabin was empty. The cameras were still recording. Darren deactivated his Airbnb account. I never got a refund. I didn't see Darren again, even though I tried to reach him. But he was gone. I don't know what would have happened if I stayed. But thank God I got out. It was around 2:14 in the morning when I heard the knocking. Not loud, just normal knock. I live in a basement apartment at the back of an old duplex. Quiet neighborhood. Nobody just drops by, especially not in the middle of the night. At first I thought maybe it was my upstairs neighbor drunk again, mistaking my door for his. But when I looked through the peephole, there was no one there. Just something sitting on the doormat. It took me a few seconds to process what I was seeing. It was a baby carrier, like a real one. Gray, soft, with a little blue blanket tucked around whatever was inside. At first I didn't even believe it. I opened the door just a crack, slowly, because something about the whole thing just felt off. No crying, no sound at all. Just that baby carrier sitting there, like it had been placed carefully, deliberately. I looked around. No footsteps, no car engine in the distance, just dead silence. I stepped out a little more and looked inside the carrier. And yeah, it looked like a baby, but it was wrong. The face was too still, too plastic looking. I leaned in, squinting, and that's when I realized it was a doll, a hyper-realistic baby doll. Not the kind you get at Walmart. This thing looked like it was molded from a real baby's face. Painted veins, faint red blotches on the skin. I've never seen something like that up close. I stepped back, heart pounding, and looked around again. Still no one. That's when I saw something else. There was a folded piece of paper taped to the carrier's handle. It just said, in messy handwriting, "Check the back." Now that should have been my cue to slam the door and call the cops. But I was running on adrenaline and pure morbid curiosity. I peeled back the blanket and flipped the doll over. There was a small black box duct taped to the doll's back. A camera, like one of those tiny motion-detecting cams people hide in hotel rooms or nanny cams. And next to it, tucked under the doll's fake arm, was a tiny Bluetooth speaker. Off, but warm to the touch. Someone had been watching through that thing. I took everything inside and locked the door. I turned on every light in the apartment. I couldn't stop shaking. I wanted to believe it was a prank. But this wasn't some harmless TikTok trend. This was surgical. Intentional. The cops came about 15 minutes later. I didn't touch anything after that. Here's where it gets worse. The police checked the footage on the camera. Only the last 90 seconds were recoverable. The rest had been wiped. In that footage, you can see the view from the baby carrier, just staring at my front door. Then a man's hand comes into frame, gloved. He adjusts the doll's blanket. Then quietly he says, "She's not home yet, wait for her." He then backs away and disappears into the dark. But here's the thing, the video was time-stamped. 2:11 a.m. I opened the door at 2:14 a.m. I was home. So who the hell was he waiting for? I moved out a week later. Never figured out who left that thing or why. I don't scare easy, but after what happened last December during my night shift, I quit working overnights for good. I was locked inside the store with someone, or maybe something. I'm still not sure. It was a quiet night. I worked this shitty gas station just off the interstate. No cameras, one entrance, flickering sign out front. Real horror movie vibes. Around 12:45 a.m., I went into the back to stock the cooler. I was gone maybe 10 to 12 minutes. When I came out, the front doors were locked. Now, normally the doors are on a motion sensor. You walk up, they open. Simple. But these weren't just unresponsive, they were dead. No green light on the panel, just black. I tried the manual override, nothing. I stood there, confused. Then I noticed the smell, like wet clothes, sweat, old wood and mildew, like someone had been hiding in a crawl space. Then I saw the muddy footprints, just one set leading into the store, right past the register, but no footprints going out. I didn't hear anyone come in. I circled the store, heart already beating harder. Every aisle was empty. No one in the restroom. No one behind the snack shelves. Then I heard something. From the cleaning aisle, shh, like a shoe dragging across tile. I literally froze, peeked around the corner, and I think I saw a big man. He was really tall and scary, you know the kind. He didn't see me, so I just slowly backed away and grabbed the flashlight under the register. When I came back with the light and shined it down the aisle, he was gone. I called out, "You need to leave. Right now." No response. Then I heard a heavy breathing sound and heavy footsteps. It was scary. I didn't see him, but I felt it. You know the feel like something bad is about to go down. I didn't wait for it to happen. I turned and ran to the back room, slammed the door shut, and called the cops from the dusty landline. told them I was locked in with someone acting unstable. They said they'd send a car out right away. I stayed in the back for 10 minutes, holding the door with my foot and a broomstick just in case. When the cops arrived, the doors opened automatically again, like nothing had ever been wrong. They didn't found the guy, they didn't found anything. Like I was imagining things, but I know I wasn't. There was someone with me, in the store, the doors were locked. The smell, the footprints on the floor. I shortly quit my job. It haunted me. I don't know if I was sleepy or my mind was playing tricks on me, but I knew I can't keep working there.